I know there is a point about Gio Reyna and MLS that you wanted to make today.
I just wanted to say, because Daniel Espinoza over here on the X Machine, right before we came on air, sent a response to the pod that you and Stu had when you were talking about Pepe. And this is an evergreen type of topic. Where is he going to be? You know, he's playing great. He's scoring goals, but he's not necessarily starting. Does he have a move either in the January window or next summer coming? And that's a fine argument. But he was actually more concerned with Gio Reyna. And we've talked about Gio Reyna. I don't know if you remember, Mosse, a while ago when Landon Donovan suggested that Christian Pulisic, who was struggling at the time and wasn't playing and was looking for a team, possibly look at a move back or a move to MLS just because he would kind of be assured that he would be playing. And a lot of people gave him crap for it. And we've talked about this before, and I certainly have suggested that in the past. But Daniel Espinoza here was saying, would Gio Reyna be someone that the Galaxy, with Riqui Puig out for not just the foreseeable future, I mean, this is a long-term type of injury, so there's a good chance you're not going to have him for most of 2025. Would he be a suitable replacement? He's available. Obviously, he's American. He needs a place where he's going to play. From a positional standpoint, while he's not Riqui Puig, he actually has some Puig-ish types of qualities there. Would that be something that you would get on board with?
Yeah, for some reason, this one hits me as being less crazy than the Pulisic one was. Now, I'd like to see what the alternatives are if he definitely decides to leave Dortmund, what other clubs are interested. The issue with what Landon said is that we all kind of thought AC Milan was a pretty good fit for Pulisic. So I didn't agree with contrasting the Galaxy with AC Milan. But if we're just sort of in theory suggesting the possibility that a loan move back to MLS and the Galaxy for a short period might help get Gio Reyna's career back on track, I don't think it's that crazy, to be honest.
I mean, from a Galaxy perspective, it's not about getting Gio's career back on track. It's about best available out there that maybe can approximate what Riqui Puig does. And look, I for a couple of years now, even when the Galaxy was crap, it was obvious that Riqui Puig was quality. And now he's got quality around him, and he does run the show in a kind of a throwback type of way. So it's a big loss. But this Greg Vanney-led team, they can find ways to compensate. And with Paintsel and Peck just going up and down and the way that they play, keep an eye on set pieces, though, because the Red Bulls are very good and the Galaxy is not very good at set pieces. So that could possibly be a key. Where should we go to now, Mosse?
Well, speaking of Christian Pulisic, we transition to this upcoming weekend in Europe. There are some big games. We begin in Serie A. AC Milan will be away to Atalanta. AC Milan coming off a 6-1 Coppa Italia win over Sassuolo. Neither Pulisic or Mosse started that match, but I suspect definitely Pulisic and probably Mosse will start this one in Bergamo against Atalanta.
Yeah, I mean, that they didn't play or start.
It's actually a good sign.
Yeah, it's a good sign. Yeah, while you might want to be involved if you're a goal scorer in terms of padding your stats, I mean, we've already seen load management. So if you're going to load manage, I'm cool with this.
Let me just say, Serie A has really carved out a niche in recent years as the most competitive of Europe's top leagues. There have been 4 different champions in the last 5 seasons. And Atalanta is a team to look for this season. They've won their last 8 in all competitions. Remember, they won the Europa League last season. They hammered Leverkusen in the final. Ademola Lookman bagged a hat-trick in that match. He's carried over that form into this season. They have a striker, Matteo Retegui, who's the top scorer in Serie A. They're unbeaten in the Champions League, 3 wins and 2 draws. And they're only 1 point back of Napoli for the top spot in Serie A. Gasperini, the manager, doing a great job. It is not outside the realm possibility for me that Atalanta could win Serie A this season.
Do you think that this is by design or this is just the way it is worked out? Because we know when we talk about MLS, it's kind of a manufactured parody that creates, the lack of disparity that we have in other leagues here. But do you think this is just the way that Serie A has worked out right now, or is it because they've gone through a dip and now they're kind of coming out of that dip?
Well, I think ironically, not having the glamour from the 80s and the 90s when you played is creating this parity, because it's not like the big teams in that league, Milan, Inter, Juventus, can go out and sign the greatest players in the world. They would create that disparity. So, it does open the door for a team like Atalanta. Fiorentina also is near the top of the standings, having a great season. So, I think when you contrast that to some of the other top European leagues, that's something Serie A has going for it. It feels more competitive.
All right, what else we got in terms of U.S. players?
Juventus will play host to Bologna. on Saturday. The AC Milan game, by the way, is Friday. Juventus will host Bologna on Saturday. Wesson McKennie has missed the last 2 games with a muscle injury. We'll see if he comes back for this one. Timmy Weah has been starting for Juve. But the big story here, we don't want to bury the lead. Juve are now managed by former Bologna boss Thiago Motta. Bologna superfan Sean Sullivan, very bitter that Motta left Bologna for Juventus. And so this game to him is like what Ohio State, Michigan was to your wife and Stu's wife. Sean has had this circled in the calendar for a long time.
Well, it's a little different because as bad as your Michigan team is, right? It's still Michigan. There's a cachet, right? But why wouldn't Sean or any other Bologna fan be happy, notwithstanding what we just talked about with the lack of disparity when it comes to teams? Well, why wouldn't he be happy? You have to let them fly. You have to let them live. You have to let them go on to quote unquote bigger and better things.
You think going from Bologna to Juve is like getting upgraded from coach to first class? Who could begrudge somebody for doing that?
And don't be angry at that person for getting that upgrade. You can be envious, okay? But what do the kids say? Don't hate the whatever. Don't be a hater without the R.
Don't be a hater. Wow,
I guess. I don't know that. I don't even think the kids say that anymore. Do they stand for anybody anymore? I don't know. Go ahead.
By the way, do you know where the term "stan" comes from?
Yes. Eminem.
Very popular.
Lost
Eminem
his mother
song
evidently the last
early
couple of days. I just heard
Yes.
that she passed away. So very influential in a number of different ways.
A very complicated relationship.
Yes, very complicated. You know, we all have mothers.
We transition to La Liga, where on Saturday, Real Betis will host Barcelona. Remember, Johnny Cardoso picked up a hamstring injury in the U.S.'s first game against Jamaica in the last window. He hasn't played since. I'm not sure what his availability is for this match. Hopefully he can be involved because this will be a fun game. Barcelona top the table. They got some good news today, by the way. Real Madrid lost 2-1 away to Athletic Bilbao. Mbappe missed a penalty in that match. So Real Madrid had been creeping up on them, but now Barcelona have a chance to reestablish themselves in first place.
Mbappe's not a bust, is he?
Boy, it's been a difficult start to the season for sure.
Yeah. I'm not crying for him. I think he's going to be just fine.
You like that clip? Well, my State of the Union podcast drops twice a week right here on my very own YouTube page. The only way to stay up to date is to hit that subscribe button down below. Size the day, and see you soon.